It's been a while. Shouldn't we do some parenting hacks? I think we should. Hey everybody, happy weekend. It's Caitlin here, and it's time for some parenting hacks. So, who am I? What's my channel? And why are we doing parenting hacks? Well, for one, parenting hacks are amazing. Doesn't anyone want to know about everything you could possibly do to make your life easier? And like I said, I'm Caitlin, and this is GBR Life. GBR Life is a blog, a vlog, a podcast, and there's a clothing line. And you can find all of that on gbrlife.com and mamakoala.com. GBR Life is the blog, vlog, and podcast, and Mama Koala is the clothing line. But let's get into some parenting hacks, because that's why you're here, right? And if you want more like this, there is an entire playlist of parenting hacks, so you can go and check that out. And I do a bunch of reviews, so you can check that out as well. Parenting hacks, for the millionth time. First the intro, then we get going. Intro. Okay, hack number 1. So, there is the ability to have routines, right? With kids, we want routines. It does make life easier. Now, some of you may not be the biggest fan of routines, but what if we made routines easier? Easier like making the clock do all the work. Okay, I know. Kids don't all know exactly what time it is by looking at a clock. You have to teach them that. But what if you color code it and you make it look like this? And then you add a legend and you even explain it to them. It'll be like a fun thing. And you make it look like this. Do you see where I'm going here? You give them routine, they know what's coming, and it'll make it easier because kids love routines. Try this hack out. See if it works after like a week with your child, and then come back here and let me know. Let's get into hack number 2. Are you getting mad all the time? Do you find yourself yelling at your child quite often? Well, I think it's time for date night. Yeah, you heard what I said. Date night. If you're a single parent, I think you should try and go on a date. And if you are not a single parent, I think that, excuse my hair right now, because it's been a day. But if you are not a single parent, I think that it is time for date night. Get a babysitter, grandparents, whatever the case is, go on a date. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is you need some you time. And then see what happens after you have some you time. You may feel a little bit better. And these days have been insane. But that does not mean that you time should go away. You time is still very needed. And look, I understand where it's like, well, where am I going to get that me time? I understand it so much so that's part of the reason why my hair is a mess. Because who has the time? But you have to make that time, because if not, you're going to go insane. So, and then of course your kids have to deal with that, and it just continues the cycle. So now's the time to plan you time, because what happens is you get your time, you feel better, you come back refreshed, your kids notice that you are calmer and just behaving in a way that they can handle themselves, or they're not getting yelled at. They start to behave better, and then things start to get a little bit easier. So is it a hack? Not necessarily. Could be more of a tip, but it's still a good one. Give it a go. Another parenting hack. This one's from TikTok. I'm a TikToker too, come on. So, kids are running around. You're making pasta. And this is a parenting hack. You are making pasta, and it overflows. And now it's all foamy. So, how do you get rid of that foam? Ice cube. Yeah. So you just take an ice cube, put it on your spatula, put it into the pot, and it gets rid of all of the foam, and you get back to cooking like it never even happened. Yeah, and that's parenting hack. Why? It's a life hack, but it's a parenting hack because let's face it, who does that happen to the most? Next hack. Okay, so when it comes to ouchies, kids are not the easiest to help get them soothed in a sense. So what I mean by that is you can't just go get an ice pack if they may have hurt their knee or something, and they would probably benefit from an ice pack, right? So what do you do instead? Because swelling is going to happen and kids get hurt. So if it's not going to be too hot, not going to be too cold, depending on what you're trying to use, try and stick with frozen marshmallows. So yes, technically we're focused more on the cold, but the reason why marshmallows is because they don't get too cold and they stay soft. So your kids kind of like them. And if you put it in a bag, of course, you can just put it right back in the freezer when it's done, and they'll probably be excited that they're using marshmallows. So give that a go. Let's get into the next hack. Okay, let's talk bedtime. Bedtime is a big deal because most of the time kids don't want to do the things that they're supposed to do, like, go to bed. And so I'm a big advocate for bedtime routines. Now, I've said this in other videos and I'm going to say it again. Bedtime routines are important because it gives you, parent, time off. But here's the thing about bedtime. Your kids, since they're gonna fight it, probably would do better with a shortened bedtime routine. So what does that mean? It means no fussing, no ability to whine. Really, they're gonna whine anyways, but no ability to get out of it, because once it starts, it's ending in like 15 minutes. So you get your bedtime routine, that current routine that you have. Maybe your child's a little bit older now and it's not working the same. So what do? You shorten that routine. You get them into, if the bath time is causing some issues, change it into a shower if they're old enough, and get them straight into bed. If they are not old enough, you do that bath, but you make sure you get them clean the way they need to be cleaned as quickly as possible. And one of the things too with all of this is it's always about doing the things as quickly as possible first that are the things that either you hate or your child hates the most. So, whatever part that is, you do that first, and then you go on to the next thing, and then we make it fun towards the end. My husband has this rule, make sure that the kids are, in a sense, like laughing or smiling when they're going into bed. So that's when you make it the most fun. You tell a joke, you give them a tickle. I like to give my bedtime kisses all over their little faces and stuff, but that's my kids and they're much younger. And then the other thing is, as a parent, especially when it comes to school, oftentimes we're exhausted by this point, and so the first thing you want to do is just like sit on the couch and zone into the TV, and that's it. Of course, there's some of us who are doing a ton of other stuff right after, right? So my suggestion to all of you, so this is a two-parter, is to go directly into the task that you don't really want to do and get that done immediately. So if it's making school lunches, which I do suggest making before the morning, and you do it the night before and you put it directly in the refrigerator and it's done, as soon as those kids are in bed, go make those lunches. As soon as you're done and you're done for the night. And that is why you do the harder things first, because then you get to enjoy the rest of the night. And in a sense, you're probably going to hurry it up because you don't want to sit there doing it the whole time, and you'll make sure that you actually get it done. So the next morning, your kids had a good night of sleep and the lunch is already done. Think about that. Okay, so that was everything for this week. And next week, we're going to get into some more reviews, because reviews are really awesome. I have a lot more websites and products that I need to review. This was a parenting hack, but the following week is going to be another parenting hack video because I have to bring more of these in. I have more hacks. And this one was more of a quicker video. Yeah, I've got that many hacks right up my sleeve. Okay, anyways, feel free to like this, comment, and subscribe to my channel because I've got a lot of stuff that I want to tell all of you about. You're going to benefit from all of these hacks, from these wonderful reviews, because I'm doing it for you. So, subscribe to my channel, and then subscribe, and then subscribe. And then last but not least, you should probably subscribe. Okay. gbrlife.com, mamakoala.com. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye!